yes guys, it's raining cats and dogs as they say ay susunod siguro in British term. And the three of us, yung tatlong sasakyan, decided to go to Portsmouth outlet. Doon kami manggugulo. Ito yung Spinnaker Tower guys. Hindi pa tayo sasakay kasi hindi naman ganda yung panahon, sayang. Ano natin? Ayan.
Binibista mo ba si kami yung nanay?
Ano bang ginagawa ni Rude? Ano bang gustong gawin ni Rude? Are, oh. Gusto lang niya.
That's dirty!
First day ate.
Ayun, ayun, malaki. Nakita mo ba yan? Category. Nakita mo
one?
yung may-ari na. Ayun, maliit na yun.
Ayun, malit na yun, oh.
Mayaman.
Oh, mayaman.
Mas mayaman.
Mas mayaman.
Mas pinakamayaman.
Oh,
Nakita mo yung may mahaba na ano
Oo,
yan?
yung pinakamalaki.
Ang milyonaryo.
Ah.
Nakita mo yung malaki? Bilyonaryo may-ari na.
Bilyonaryo.
Ganun ang category dyan.
Ah, okay.
What color is this?
Parang ano na, oh. Parang bibiyahe na pa sa kabilang mundo. Sa
Eh, kay Kuya Will. Alin dyan ang kay Kuya Will?
Talaga yung masakay niya, mga ganyan lang.
Alin? Yung pang mayaman.
Pang mayaman lang yun.
Ah.
Ay, yung bilyonaryo. Hindi
Bilyonaryo sa Europe.
Oo. Parang mga sila, Abramovich.
Abramovich.
Ay, may maari ng ano, ng Chelsea.
Chelsea,
Oo, yan,
Chelsea
mga ganun ang barko nila.
Football Club.
Ay, barko, yate lang pala yan, yate.
Green the water. Don't touch the railing.
Okay, should we go around, guys?
Come on, Mila.
Basa mo ba yung pangalan niya? Basa mo ba yung pangalan nung pang bilyonaryo yate? Nasabi mo?
Nakikita mo yun sa ano, nakikita mo yun sa website dito kung ano yung
Yula.
Kasi sinulat sa pula.
Please.
Napupunta na ako una pa dito. Diyan na yan, dito na lagi nakaparada yan.
Ha?
Nawa, dito na dati nakaparada yan.
And just leave them.
Nakamuro, tawag yan.
Naka-moor. Naka-anchor. Oh, guys, this is the Spinnaker
Hindi,
Tower.
anchor yan, nakadock na nga eh.
Ah, dock pala. Oh, sige, di ko magalit. So, at least medyo tumila na, so we'll be able to vlog again and you'll be able to see what's in here. HM Gunwharf Portsmouth.
Kanya, passenger galit sa taon. Ano ano yan? Sa tampang passenger lang. Papunta naman ng ano yan.
Saan? Oh, okay.
France.
Ah, France.
Passenger na, sa tampang galing ka na.
Yung may mga nakasakay na sasakyan sa loob.
It's like Titanic one, right? Big one.
Yeah. Guys, look at the size of this yacht. Yung sinasabi ni Erwin na bilyonaryo at saka yung fairing ganon. O, tinan mo. Konti na lang yung ano, parang kalahati na siya. Passenger yan, passenger. Tan tan tan. Taranan, taranan, tan tan tan. Taranan, taranan, tan tan tan.
Enzo, ikaw?
Uy, ay nasasamata naman na ni Enzo yung mask niya.
Inais ko kasi nalaglag ko.
Oh, okay.
No, in your phone.
Oh.
I don't have.
Taga-tugtog si Nina. 1, 2, 3. Tan tan tan. Taranan, taranan, tan tan tan. Taranan, taranan, tan tan tan.
Kuya.
Oh, kuya, dance kuya. Say
Pwede
dance.
mag-ihaw doon sa pinuntahan namin kahapon.
Oo nga, pwede mag-barbecue.
Ihaw mo talaga.
Oh, ready? Oh. Tugtog.
Make it louder.
Oh, make it louder.
That's not the Bini marker.
Binibini marker.
Bulo-bulo na yung kanyang dewa.
Make it louder.
Binibini market.
Babe, ayaw ka na konti, babe. Oh, magbigay na kayo ng tig-piso. Piso lang, piso.
Ay, ano na lang. This is iPhone Live.
Oh, laki nun na. Don't want. Okay. Anak, huwag ka na nga maganyan. Hindi mo tama pa. Ay siya, bumaba na yung isa. Ay siya, bababa na.
Ay, tikit mo.
Ninang! Wala yung ticket.
Yan na, yan na.
Hello!
Hey guys, step up.
Basa.
Marania, that's nothing.
Thank you.
Hello! Nina, Yula,
Kanere yan, ano?
Enzo. Ninang, picture kayo dito.
Ledges unfortunately have to be there by law, but they are a little bit of a trip hazard. And do make use of the handrails, especially on the stairs. Whilst on board the Alley Cat today, ladies and gents, if we can ask you adhere to the social distancing rules, hand sanitizers, washers are available on board if you wish to use them. And if you are sat down in the saloon, if we could ask you to wear a face covering, and that's 558 foot in old money, 2.5 times higher than Nelson's Column. It's one of the tallest observation platforms outside of London. Used on a good day around 23 miles. 3 viewing decks at the top, lower one, housing one of the largest glass floors in Europe. If you dare to walk across, give you the idea of walking on air. Top one is known as the crow's nest, got no roofs open to the elements. The spire you see at the top of the tower, that's 27 metres in height, built at ground level, lifts up there by crane every present position. Tower weighs in around 30,000 tonnes. To the left of the tower we have Portsmouth Harbour Station, the main rail link from Portsmouth to London Waterloo, up to Cardiff, along the coast to Brighton. Home to the White Link catamaran service, passing the White Rider 2. They will take you across to right here on the island, which is around... So we do have both our aircraft carriers here today. The first one, HMS Queen Elizabeth, in front of her, HMS Prince of Wales, built at a cost of £3.1 billion each. They're 70,000 tonnes, 280 metres in length, 39 metres across. There's 11 metres of them under the water. From the flight deck down, they've actually got 9 decks. Propelled by 2 Rolls-Royce MT-30 turbines, producing some 48,000 horsepower. Gives them a top speed of 26 knots with a range of 10,000 nautical miles. Now they're going to carry the new F-35 Lightning Strike multi-role fighter planes, currently being built in America at a cost of £100 million each. Helicopters, they carry Chinooks, Apaches, Merlins and Wildcats. Now it depends on what they're sent out to sea to do, will depend on what aircraft they actually... At the time, the Mersey and the Clyde, they are all coming to the end of their days, so they're going to be replaced by brand new ships. It's not long to go that one now. Ahead of her, along the quay, you'll see two of our Type 45 destroyers. In the inside, we've got 5, which is HMS Dragon. On the outside, E-36, which is HMS Defender. We've got 6 of these destroyers in the Royal Naval Fleet, built to the cost of £1 billion each. Now the port of Portsmouth has been a naval dockyard for well over 500 years. Now as we go on our tour, you'll be looking around 3 miles of continuous naval quay. The quay wall ahead on your right, you'll probably see some of the black gates. They've got the yellow handrails along the tops. These gates act as corridors that lead into number 3 basin directly behind, which is a 60-acre pond that dug out by hand by prisoners of war back in the 1860s and 1870s. They can also use these corridors as dry docks if required. Also on your right, you'll see the tidal basin. In there today, some of the harbour tugs. They're here to assist the naval vessels in and out of the port of Portsmouth on off the quay walls. Very, very powerful. They're around 5,000 horsepower, also known as tractor tugs. Very, very manoeuvrable. Also coming up on your right, D-34, which is HMS Diamond, another one of our Type 45 destroyers. They're 7,350 tons, 152 metres of length, 21 metres across. And they have a top speed of 29 knots. Now it doesn't matter which one you look at, Defender behind us now, or Diamond coming up on your right. If you look right up on the bow, you will see the 114mm Mark 9 Vickers gun, the big grey gun that fires some 25 rounds a minute over a range of 22,000 metres, near on 12 miles. Directly behind that, the grey box, is the launching stations for the brand new Sea Viper missile system. In the middle of the ship, you'll see the Phalanx with the white dome on it. They've got one either side. The Phalanx fires 3,500 rounds a minute over a range of 1,500 metres. Any incoming targets, such as missiles or planes, it will automatically lock onto the closest. It will fire, continue firing till that target's been destroyed, then automatically move on to the next closest. On the back deck, the either carrier, Merlin or Wildcat helicopter, they got a crew of 190 on. Now looking on the forward mast, you'll see the grey ball, the spikes. That is the Samson radar. That is the latest in radar technology. It can actually detect and track some 2,000 flying objects at any one time. You'll notice the sides on these destroyers, they're angled out at the bottom, angled at the top. That's part of the stealth technology. On a radar screen, these vessels show up no bigger than the average size fishing boat. Around the corner we've got F-78 next, which is HMS Kent. Parked in front of her is F-229 HMS Lancaster, 2 of our Duke class Type 23 frigates. We have 13 of these ships in the Royal Naval Fleet. Now they're 5,000 tons, 133 metres in length and 16 metres across. They got a top speed of 28 knots. Now again, as we go by, right up on the bow, the Vickers gun firing some 25 rounds a minute. Directly behind that, the launching stations for the Harpoon and Seawolf missile systems, 2 different systems on these ships. There's 2 30mm guns, one either side of the funnel. Again on the back deck, the either carrier, Merlin or Wildcat helicopter, they got a crew of 173. Looking above the number, F-78, just underneath the bridge wings, you'll see a small deck. On that small deck, the 2 rear-facing torpedo tubes, a twin set either side for the Stingray torpedoes. You also notice the superstructure. The top bits of these frigates are actually built in 3 separate blocks. But there is a reason for this. They were to have a fire on board one day, isolate the fire to one of these blocks, stop it from spreading through the ship.
Nasa likod na tayo ng ano guys.
In front of Lancaster here we got P233, which is HMS Tamar, and she's one of our brand new Batch 2 River class patrol vessels. Now eventually there will be 6 of these little ships. They're 2,000 tons, 90 metres of length, speeds are well over 20 knots, very very fast. Their main role is going to be fishery protection. As we pass Tamar, the other side of the quayway on your right, you'll see the Diligence coming into view with a helicopter pad on the top. She belonged to the Royal Fleet Auxiliary. It means the vessel was actually owned by the Royal Navy, run by merchant seamen. Now, Diligence was known as a submarine repair vessel, basically a very large floating workshop. No longer required, so she's actually in Portsmouth awaiting her fate. No doubt the MOD trying to flog her off to a foreign navy, failing that she could go back to a commercial company, because that's how she started life, as a cross-channel freight ferry. And ahead on your right here, in the corner, we've got the SD Victoria. She belongs to a company called Serco Denham, does quite a lot of work for the MOD. Her official title, Seagoing Buoy Replenishment Vessel, but she carries out various tasks, to be honest. So that's the end of the Royal Naval Dockyard. Just about to do our turn. As we do so, ahead of us, soon to be on your right, is the commercial port. These 2 berths, they mainly deal with fruit. Fruit from all around the world arrives here. Fife and geese, they import bananas. In fact, 80% of all the bananas eaten in the UK arrive here in Portsmouth. Now, we also export wind turbine blades. The blue ship over there, the Flash, you'll see the turbine blades on the deck there. They're 84 metres in length, manufactured on the Isle of Wight, pulled across on the barge, the Blade Runner 2, when put on that bigger ship and taken abroad. Continuing our turn, you'll see our ferry port. This is opened in 1976. 5 berths here in total, makes it one of the busiest ferry ports in the UK today. In fact, it's second to Dover. Got a couple of ships alongside. Directly to your right there, you'll see the bow of the Commodore Goodwill. She belongs to Condor. She does a freight service down to the Channel Islands of Jersey and Guernsey. Wind Champion belongs to Whitaker Tankers. She's come down from the commercial port of Southampton, about 15 miles along the coast, to refuel the ferries as they come in and out of the port. Now, as we go around the other side on number 5 link span, you'll see the Commodore Clipper, which is another Condor ferry, and she does a passenger service down to the Channel Islands. Now, ferries that leave from here go across to Cherbourg, Le Havre, Cannes, St Malo, the Channel Islands, and also down to Spain. The ferry port actually deals with some 2.2 million passengers and around 660,000 vehicles every year. Next ferry due in will be the Brittany ferry Bretagne. She normally arrives between 5:30, 6 o'clock, and she'll be coming back from St Malo. Of the Swan Hunter on the Tyne, saw active service during the Falklands War, eventually decommissioned in 1991, to be recommissioned in 1993 as a static training ship. That's Bristol's permanent mooring. She never moves from there. She can't. She's got no engines. Now, the other side of Bristol is Whale Island, home to HMS Excellent. Was the Royal Naval Gunnery School for many years. It's now a training centre for the Royal Navy, Marines and Sea Cadets. Sea Cadets, they have a very good time when they come to train here at Whale Island. They actually bring them out on the water here. They teach them how to row, teach them how to sail. They also teach them how to drive a motorboat. They then take them back ashore and teach them how to swim. Now, as we clear Whale Island, keep looking to your right. And right over the other side of the harbour, to the left of the grey hangar, you will see Portsmouth Castle on the shoreline, built in the year 284 AD by the Romans and rebuilt by the Normans at a later date. Between us and the castle, there's actually some 16 square miles of mudflats. Most of the water you see on your right all drains away at low tide. Now, low tide has been and gone today, but you'll see the mud islands on your right and ahead of us here. Next couple of hours or so, they will disappear back under the water. The big hill in the distance on your right, that's called Portsmouth Hill. They actually built a series of red brick forts up on the top there, as a result of a royal commission back in 1859. What they decided in those days, there are quite a few defences facing to the south out to sea.
You want to go home? You want to go home? Yes. Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going home soon. Look, where are you? Say hi. Say hi. Say hi.
Eventually the place was close to residential areas, and they had to move it about 4 miles on the coast on the right for postal defences. Look out ahead on your left hand side.
Ito guys, so meron pa silang bantay.
HMS Victory, number 2 dry dock. And the back of Trafalgar, HMS Victory had 821
Even in the other one.
including Nelson, Captain Hardy and 9 officers. A crew comprised of 22 different nationalities, including 4 Frenchmen. They're fighting against. The oldest crewman on board, who was called Walter Berg, he was age 67. The youngest was Thomas Twitcher, he was only 12. Lord Nelson's famous last words when he was stationed back. As he got there.
Hey, don't put your mouth there.
May babisit ka muna. Enzo!
Ano ba yun?
Oh,
Umorder pa akong isa.
wow. Yaman. May pambili.
Kaya lang laruan. Para kay Enzo.
Ako yan.
Ano ba yan? Pakita mo ko. Ayun, AF, Erin Flores. Daong na yun, ibang grupo.
Ninang!
Thank you guys. Goodbye now.
Na!
Bye-bye vlog! That's what we did. Ninang and Enzo. Ninang and Yula. How was the boat trip? Good? Yula. Yula, I can't breathe. Yula. Yula, thumbs up. Say like and subscribe.
Ebyang Tunnel. From Cavite to Batangas. Batangas na tayo. Huwag lang hihinga, walang hihinga.
Namamatay tayo pag hindi tayo huminga dyan.
Walang talaga tayo. Yan. Umalis na ulit yung isa. Si Pile of White pala yan, Chi. Chi. Pile of White yan. Yan yung kinakargay sa sakyan. Doon sa Isle of Wight.
Eh tayo, pasan tayo?
Sa Ilopot.
Saan ang Ilocos? Ilocos. Saan yun?